Time for a check now on the media sector's performance on the share market this week, and we're joined by Chris Weston from IG. Chris, what have you been watching?
Well, I think in terms of actual share price, there's been some good gains. I mean, if you look at 10, it's trading around 30 cents, still on that 30 times PE, which is obviously very expensive, trading up 7% on the week. You can have a look at Southern Cross Media, up about 6% as well. On the downside, we've seen a bit of volatility in APN, down about 6%, and I think, you know, we're still seeing that real positive momentum in Seven West Media. Obviously, last Tuesday they came out with that guidance that they were going to see first half EBIT of 250 million, which was in line with what we had expected. But I think they're going to implement these revenue boosting strategies going forward. The market likes that. The stock's now up 42% in the last 10 days. If you're in the stock, yeah, look for that potentially to trade up to $1.64 up to the August highs. And if we break that, then potentially get a few momentum players in there. Obviously, consolidated media is no longer. If you were in that stock, obviously, you want to see News Corp doing a little bit better, and it was about nearly $2 billion. We've obviously seen those Aussie assets, including Foxtel and Fox Sports, going to be being part of the publishing assets when they obviously do that split with the entertainment and the publishing side of things. So I thought that was quite interesting. News Corp themselves doing very well on the week, up 2.7%. They bought Yes in the US. Obviously, that's TV station which is focused on some of the US baseball series. I think that's a very good fit for them in their sports division as well. And of course, Murdoch's been selling some of his stake as well, which I think netted him about $10 million. So yeah, a very big week on the M&A side of things, and a bit of volatility over the week as well.
All right, Chris, thank you as always.
Cheers, buddy.
Chris Weston there, Chief Market Strategist at IG. Well, this week, the A-League finally unveiled its sports TV rights deal. $160 million over 4 years to be shared by Fox Sports and SBS. Let's get all the details and return to our co-host James Manning from Mediaweek. So yeah, the details finally unveiled.
Sure, $32 million a year from Fox Sports, $8 million a year from SBS. Well, it's mainly cash, but there's a little bit of contra in there as well. I think the delay was SBS getting it signed off from the government, sort of getting whatever they need from the government as a government broadcaster, that, yep, this is okay, funding secure, so they can proceed with that agreement. Start this time next year, of course, when the 2013-2014 A-League kicks off.
Okay, just some other news as well. AC/DC, it had held out from putting its music catalogue online effectively, but now it has finally allowed it to be available for download. Yeah,
probably the biggest band in the world yet to sign on with iTunes and make their catalogue available. It coincided with the release of a new album, or a new live album too. They don't release a lot of albums, and even fewer live albums. I think Live at River Plate is the name of the record, so it's going to give that a bit of a spur. All the back catalogues there, but there's different levels of digital, and I don't think they're yet available on the streaming services like Spotify or Rdio. So it's still, I think, iTunes only.
Okay, just some other reports or speculation around this week that Seven was looking at buying the Sunday Times in Perth from News Limited. What happened with this? It was denied?
Yes, Seven, I think, came out and said, look, there's no deal about to be done there. I think it wasn't a sort of blanket denial. Maybe gave them a bit of wriggle room there, but it'd be a pretty significant sale if News did proceed with this one, of course, because the Sunday Times is a pretty important part in their Sunday newspaper sort of a link, if you like, as they've got the biggest Sunday paper in every metro market, and to sort of cherry pick the Perth out of that would sort of weaken that sales offer. Of course, you could still combine, do a deal and sell the group, and but you'd be missing a chunk of that revenue.
All right, one to watch, I guess, perhaps. Sure. All right, let's just turn to the TV ratings now. We'll start with free-to-air for week 46. And obviously, James, as you were mentioning, the countdown's on to the end of the year. So there we see the X Factor, number 1 and 2 for 7.
And of course, this is last week, so those both, I think, X Factor and Caravan of Courage will turn up in next week's chart. They both had 1 week to go from these numbers.
And Caravan, 60 Minutes yet again in that top
Absolutely.
10 as well, top 5, we should say. And then the 7 and 9 users on Sunday also top rating.
Some mob docs there, very strong for 7, both the Force and Highway Patrol.
And new tricks for ABC One. All right, let's have a look at the top rating shows on subscription TV for week 46. Grand Designs Australia doing great numbers for lifestyle.
Yeah, always does good business. A-League continuing. And Walking Dead, very strong show for FX, sort of very specialist audience, but those fans love it and they sort of tune in every week for that.
And just turning the page, and more football or soccer or whatever you like to call it, also doing well.
Absolutely. You see the EPL cropping into the top 10 there. So those English Premier League games, when they're sort of not on too late, maybe the 10 or 11 o'clock at night, will pull a big audience if it's one of those big teams.
Got lots to talk about in the TV space, and I just wanted to start with 10. Obviously, I mean, it's been something we've been asking about for weeks, but really the past year. Harold Mitchell coming out and talking about 10 can be rebuilt, possibly going to take a few years, but sounding quite positive about the network.
Yeah, he's pretty conservative on there, though, saying taking 3 to 5 years, and I'm sure he's probably a bit closer to it than I am. But I think if they could get a couple of shows away, that they could sort of speed up that time frame, if you like. But it's really, they're about returning to their core audience, the younger viewer, I guess, focusing a little bit more perhaps on that 40-year-old, under 40 target, and just getting a couple of hit shows away.
Now, we know the AGM's coming up early December, and Lachlan Murdoch, the chairman's been out there talking to shareholders ahead of that.
Yeah, it's a good move, and I think that's what Lachlan does best with the company he invests in. He gets out there and he talks to the people they have relationships with, and lays out his strategy. And look, he's convincing them that they're very serious about what they're doing. They've got a few things wrong this year. They've sort of learnt from that sort of stuff, and that's the story he's telling them. I think that we have made changes. Look, this is what our schedule looks like this year, and we've talked about that the last couple of weeks. And he thinks they're on a different track, and hopefully there'll be some return in that for the ratings, the revenue, and ultimately the shareholders. Interesting hearing Chris Weston saying it's had a good week on the share price, but it's still trading at 30 cents. So that tells you how badly it's been punished by the market.
We've obviously talked a lot too about the redundancies as well that have been seen. Now, more this week at the creative unit. What is happening with that unit? Is it
it was one of James Warburton's ideas when he came on. Seven's always been very strong at making its own programming, really controlling its own destiny, if you like, and ultimately monetising some of that when you sell those successful franchises around the world, whether it be My Kitchen Rules. They make good money out of Home and Away. They make that program. I think Winners and Losers now does get some decent sales to other territories. So 10 have always been very strong outsourcing, if you like, to the independent production sector, who have been very happy about that, and they don't want to see that business lost. So, but 10 has been doing a little bit of work on building their own sort of profile there, their own production capacity. It hasn't been going that well, if you like. Still early days, I guess. They've had very little's got up so far, but so next year will be the real test if they sort of continue with that. And I think those numbers have they've cut back a little bit on the team involved there, but next year we'll see if they get something up that creates a bit of traction.
As you were mentioning before, not long to go to the end of the TV ratings year, and just in that free-to-air battle, we've been hearing 9 and 7 already coming out claiming victory. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, as early as mid-year, we've had a few sort of people saying, look, we've already run at this time slot for the year, we've already won in that time slot, and every few weeks there's been another claim, and now we're getting close to the end. 7 is saying, look, we're number one all over with, and if you look at the ad share, you've got to say, well, yeah, that should be the only maybe measure perhaps, and that's where they're doing best. But 9 look doing very, very well in the key demos. A big performance improvement year on year.
Just looking at some of the shows too, Amazing Race Australia actually has won an Emmy for Active TV.
Yeah, Active TV, Michael Mackay and his team there make Amazing Race Australia. They also make an edition of Amazing Race for the Asia Pacific region, if you like, which does very well. And yeah, he was in New York this week to accept the award, and a show that's did reasonably well for 7. I'm not sure if they're committed to it next year, but maybe this will help them along in deciding where to go with the franchise.
The Slap missed out on the Emmy, but did win another award though.
Yeah, the Slap missed out on the Emmy. It picked up a Screen Music Award. That's where all the composers for the music, all the TV programs and the movies, they have their own awards and sort of celebrate the programs that have done well there. Mabo was another program, it's just screened on ABC One here, picked up an award too, and Underbelly Razor, Screen Time series, also got a gong.
And you were mentioning there one series of the X Factor finishing and another one about to begin shooting.
Yeah, look, they had 2 million people. I think that'll be number 1 on our chart next week unless something amazing happens in the next couple of days. yeah, did fantastic numbers. This year in general did very well. I think about, I've worked out, I thought it was 32, it was 30, maybe 34 episodes, but a chunk of the end of the year. And it's the last big franchise, if you like, to finish up for the end of the year. And we're almost into summer programming now. But yeah, auditions starting December 1 for the next series.
And talking about top rating shows, Australia's Next Top Model will be back next year. The new host revealed this past
Jennifer
week.
Hawkins. We thought it might have been Megan Gale. We thought we might have had a bit of inside knowledge, but no, we were wrong. Megan Gale has got the job. Again, that's sort of in pre-production.
Jennifer Hawkins.
Jennifer Hawkins has got the job, yeah, what am I saying? We thought it might have been Megan Gale. Yeah, but probably a good choice. Yeah.
Okay. And just as well, we've had Foxtel coming out and unveiling its summer schedule as well, all the programs coming.
Yeah, it looks Sex and the City prequel called the Carrie Diaries, the sort of teenage years of Carrie Bradshaw, if you like. I think there'll be a lot of fans of the original show will be sort of looking out for that one. Dick Wolf, the guy behind Law and Order, he's got a series called Chicago Fire. I think Foxtel will be getting that to air pretty quickly. And some interesting local documentary stuff, a program on the Granville train disaster, which from here in Sydney quite a while ago, and The People Speak showing on Sunday. I think it's December 2 or 3, but first weekend in December, that one coming on the History Channel.
And the Shark Week, of course.
Yeah, coming up on
popular.
Discovery. Yeah, that always does. And it's been going for an amazing number of years, Shark Week, but yeah, a lot of fans for that.
And Come Dine With Me Australia, the celebrity version too.
Yeah, it's a new series, but they're going to kick that off with a bunch of celebrities, and Prue McSween is one of the people involved in that, so you can expect it to be reasonably controversial.
And all this causing a week to MCM planning to expand that audience measurement system, but we'll certainly have more on that in a couple of weeks' time.
We will, yeah, special program, I think.
Absolutely. James Manning, thanks as
Bridie.
always. And that's all we have time for here on Mediaweek. Thanks for your time.